Okay, let's go. You and me need to have a conversation. As women in the 21st century, we are still getting told so much shit. And you know what? I'd really like for us to be able to put a stop to it. Can we do it overnight? No, we can't. But we have to start somewhere. So in today's Self-Care Sunday video, I thought of asking you guys on Instagram, what are you fed up of hearing being told as women in today's times? And the response is, let's just say society let me down, but did not let me down with the expectations I had. There's so much crap that you and I have to address. I'm usually doing my makeup in this series, but I thought that it's time we elevate it a little bit and just have this conversation face to face. If I say something that you disagree with, I apologize in advance. I just feel like I'm going to be very, very candid with every single thought I have. So let's just dive right into this. So I have a whole lot of screenshots over here, and it's safe to say that we're going to be covering an arena of topics in today's video. Let's start with the most common one that women are getting. And I think that we start getting this so early in our lives. And if you're single in your 30s, God bless you, because Indian society will not let us forget that you're not married. I have a variety of things over here, ranging from marriage is your only way of being part of society or else you will be shunned. So now, when are you getting married? Because aunties and uncles and even our friends at some point love to say that to us. Are you married? To my parents mostly, where's your daughter married? She's 34 and unmarried. Congratulations on keeping your standards. Hi, my friend. And then we've got the usual types. When will you get married? Don't you feel lonely? शादी की उम्र निकल जाती है, बाद में अच्छा लड़का नहीं मिलेगा. After marriage you have to change and you can't do this, you can't do that with your in-laws. What will they think? Okay, so I have a lot of thoughts over here. Just in case you're new to this channel, I'm 32 years old. I have been with my partner for 10 years. We've been married for almost 7 of those years. While I'm very grateful that I'm in a very happy, healthy marriage, I don't think marriage is for everybody. I don't think everybody needs to get married. For that matter, I also want to say, I don't think I'm complete because of my partner. That whole do jism ek jaan bullshit is meant for Bollywood movies. Can we please leave them there? Something that you need to understand is that you, and I mean this in the nicest way, if you cannot fully love yourself, and all of you, the flaws, the stuff you want to share with the world, the stuff you want to hide from the world, you gotta be able to love it all. Do we have character flaws? Yes, because nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. You know what the good news is on this planet? Nobody is perfect. This is what I mean. And I feel like so many times we're subconsciously comparing ourselves and our lives with other people. Stop it. I know it's easy for me to say stop it, because like, fuck, she's just saying stop it, so we're going to stop it. It's like telling somebody calm down. I don't mean it like that. I mean work on yourself to stopping it, because comparison really truly is the thief of joy. I've always believed in that, right? Something you need to understand is that if you can't fully love yourself, surrender to yourself, give grace to yourself in moments that you need to give yourself grace, nobody else is going to be able to love those parts of you. And again, I'm going to keep circling back in this marriage to obviously my own example, because I've only been married once and I'm with my husband. I remember the first few times I shared with him the weirdest things about me that one doesn't necessarily share even with friends, right? Because you're going to be marrying this person, you're going to be living with this person. They have to understand, if not love and like, your quirks, the darker sides to the way your mind works sometimes. Like, I was really scared in one phase of my life that I was becoming a pessimistic person. I'm optimistic to a fault. So when I see pessimism rising in me, to me, it is a red flag in myself. Having those conversations with your partner is so important. And if you haven't found someone that you can truly, truly, truly be yourself with, then that's not the one. You know what I mean? Like, I was having this conversation with a friend of mine who is around my age, and she's single, and she's, met a couple of men in different ways, from families arranging setups to being on dating apps to being on the shadi.coms, and she hasn't met someone where she feels like she can truly be herself, and it kind of checks all those ticks. And I'll come to all those ticks in a second. I promise you I will. Because I think that's a whole separate conversation that needs to be had, right? One of the things that I think we forget is that stability is underrated. if you're with someone, let's hypothetically say I'm with someone, and if every argument makes me feel like, is this going to be a breakup? Is this going to destabilize my relationship? If you're in a situationship that you think is headed in the direction of a relationship, but if every little disagreement makes you feel like, this is not going to go my way, this is how it ends, that feeling you're getting is your gut. Listen to your gut. Please listen to your gut. Listening to your gut is so underrated. It has saved me from so many situations in my life, not just in terms of relationships, men, romance, friends, situations, work, family, extended family. I feel like it is so important to give yourself the power to say, I know what's good for me. I want to say something that might sound like a hot take, and I don't mean to sound controversial, but I think somewhere in Indian society we've always been raised to think that बड़े बेहतर जानते हैं. एंड हाँ, बहुत सारी चीज़ों में बड़े बेहतर जानते हैं, उसके साथ आप आर्ग्यू कर भी नहीं सकते हो, बिकॉज देयर आर जेन्युइनली देयर लिव्ड एक्सपीरियंसेस कैन help us so much, right? I've always believed that a smart person learns through their own experiences, and a truly wise person learns from everybody else's experiences too. So if you want to be that wise person, I think it is important कि जो बड़े कह रहे हैं उनको सुनो. लेकिन हम जो टाइम्स में रह रहे हैं ना, are very different from वो जो टाइम्स में बड़े हुए हैं. Like, I was having this conversation again with someone else the other day who is my mom's age, and that's like basically in their late 50s, early 60s age. And they said, what are you kids so tired of these days? Like, you're so tired. We didn't have backaches at, 30, and you all are depressed as a generation. You're less happy. And I had a very simple response to which they actually agreed and became more compassionate about the situation. Our generation, I'm speaking for millennials, I was born in 1991, has so many more pressures than the previous generation did, right? And I'm not going into Gen Z because that's a completely separate conversation. I feel like our generation, where we are, our ambitions laid in trying to pursue both conventional and a certain section of us unconventional forms of success. We grew up at a time where we wanted to please our parents and we wanted to make our families happy and proud, but we also learned that, you know what, there are things that you just got to do for yourself. Even at work, when our parents grew up, there was arts, commerce, science, and look at our time. Again, I'm saying our time. Gen Z के time पे तो और भी ज़्यादा बढ़ गया है. But if you look at our time, I feel like so many more streams came up, so many more avenues came up, ambitions, careers, everything was on the rise, which also made the world so much more competitive. And I think that is really, really underrated when we don't talk about it enough, because a lot of our stresses actually come from there. Like I said to them, I don't think that generation had to put up with as much pressure. And I mean, when I say pressure, I just want to clarify, I mean both societal pressure and pressure that we put on ourselves as a generation. Because we have to admit it. I'm someone who is a certified workaholic, and I don't say that in a way that I mean to sound like I'm hustling. I wish I had better balance in my life. I honestly, truly do. Last night I was at a brand event and a couple of my fellow bloggers were with me, and we were talking about December and friends and having a life and this and that. And they were like, how often do you go out? And everybody was talking about their plans. And I said, you know what? I get out to meet my friends about once or twice a month. And it sucks. I'm not saying that as a flex at all. It's something I want to change about my own life in 2024. I feel like I wish I had a better sense of balance between being content creator Aanam, consultant Aanam, and brand founder verified Aanam. I think that I have sacrificed so much. And I say that with introspect, also admitting that if I had to do all of this all over again, I would have done it the same way. Because I'm really grateful for the opportunities that have come my way. I am the breadwinner for my family, for my husband and I. I am I lie at the crux of all the 3 businesses that we pretty much run together. And I think it's important as women to be able to say that without guilt and without the fear of feeling like you're stepping on someone else's toes, right? Like at the beginning when Jerry and I started working together and we went from being a double income household to a single income household. I mean, we're both working, but basically he's part of my business, so the business is a single income household in that sense. I used to be like, listen, are you okay with me saying that? Even someone like me who considers herself to be, I won't say a fierce feminist because I still think I have a long way to go in that sense, but I believe in not feeling guilty about patting yourself on the back. And he said, are you crazy? Like, you are, you are the breadwinner for the house, or in that sense, you are the spine that holds it together. I mean, I know I'm going in 10 different directions. Where I'm going with this is, and where it started off was, that don't be in a rush to marry someone because there's a timeline or there's an age, or because you've been told, oh my god, or if you've been told that your biological clock is ticking. Damn, I know that babies is somewhere in these screenshots, we're gonna get to it, but I just really wanted to sound off about a lot of things. As in, when you think of a question or want to say something through the course of this video, please keep leaving comments down below, because and then you can edit them or go ahead and add more, because I feel like I want to keep this conversation going in a way that is healthy for both you and me. I've been in therapy for about 5 years on and off. I started in 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 6 years on and off. I think that I have a very long way to go. In fact, just this year in particular, my therapist said for the first time ever that I need to go in more often and that my gaps are going too long, and I think that she's right. And that's also because I feel like so many people don't realize how small things they do or don't do can impact somebody else. And if you're anything like me, I've been, even on the internet, I've already admitted very honestly about having a very high EQ. And I think that the problem with people like me who have a very high EQ or are more sensitive than others, and I'm not sensitive on like the random things, I'm sensitive about gestures, I'm sensitive about time, I'm sensitive about the relationships that matter. And some call that petty, and I think somewhere in my head I'm like, you know what, if that makes me petty, then I'm petty, I will take it. But where I'm going with this, again, my head goes in so many directions, I'm sorry, is that you need to be able to know how to work on yourself. You just have to. You have to be able to give yourself more grace. I think I give so many people benefit of doubt, and I wish I could do that much for myself. You know what I mean? There was definitely something else I wanted to say in the middle of that I lost track of because I went into something else, but I'm sure it'll come back at some point in this video. We've got another set of questions that are around marriage, about subtle remarks like find a rich boy to marry, marriage is the only way, you'll be part of society, you're overqualified for arranged marriage. Actually, I have heard that one. A few of my friends, we'll talk about it. Put on some weight or no one will marry you. Get married and have kids soon. You've gained weight. You're 34. It's about time you get married. That I need to get married and have kids. Also, you can't be just friends with a man. Oh my god, so many thoughts. I want to say one thing in particular about the line that says you can't be friends with a man, and I'm saying this because I was watching somebody's interview, a celebrity interview the other day. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Tilotama. How does she pronounce her name? I don't want to butcher it. Tilotama. She's like this fantastic actor who's been in some like really amazing stuff recently. Love Stories, Netflix, for example. And she said something that really struck a chord with me. And she said it, I mean, I don't remember exactly how she said it, but I'm going to go ahead and paraphrase and say it to you the way I resonated with it. When I was in my teens and 20s, I've always had great girlfriends, okay? Like, don't get me wrong, I've always had great girlfriends. But at that point of time, I guess because I didn't know better, I thought it was so cool that I also was able to have so many guy friends, because everyone else was like, girls have so much drama and it's easier to be friends with boys, and somewhere because you're conditioned, you think that that's true. I still have those guy friends, most of those guy friends in my life, and I have those girlfriends and even more girlfriends in my life. And I want to say something to you, where if you're in your 20s, you will not get this. If you're in your 30s, you may or may not, and I'm sure if you're older than me, then you get it. I've gone from thinking that it's easier to have the guy friendships because there was no drama, and yes, at that point of time, perhaps because of timing, perhaps because of other circumstances, there was no drama. But as I've gotten older, I have realized nothing can replace and feel as special as your female friendships. Your female friendships are what will sail you through the darkest hours of the night. My female friendships have gotten me through some of my toughest moments, and I say that because You know what it is to be a daughter, you know what it is to be a sister, probably you know what it is to probably be a wife if you're married, you know what it is to just be a female partner, and if you have a similar sexual relationship with someone else. What I mean by that is if you're in a straight couple and someone else is in a straight couple, then there's that added similarity of that sense. And if you're gay and they're gay and they get it still, then that's also a similarity, whatever works for you. I feel like even school friends of mine that I kind of lost touch with, not all of them, but I held on to my super close ones, of course, but even school friends that I lost touch with, who I've come back in touch with in my late 20s and 30s, I'm so much more fond of, and I treasure so much more now, because there's just something about the sisterhood where we've grown up with so many similar experiences. If you have female friendships in your life, then you know what I'm saying. And if you've lost female friendships in your life, then you also get what I'm saying with a little bit of grain of salt. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to dig at old wounds. When I say this, I think of girlfriends that I have, and I think of girlfriends that I've had, and I treasure all equally. Even the ones that aren't in my life on an everyday basis, the low maintenance ones that I talk to once a month, the ones who've moved away to other cities or countries, whom I miss so much. Or whether it's the ones that unfortunately just aren't an active part of my life because of a misunderstanding or because something happened. It doesn't make me treasure them any less. And I feel like that's just something that gives me so much hope for the friendships I will make. Zindagi khatam thodi na hui hai. You know what I mean? You're still going to meet people. There's still potential for more friendships. There's still potential for dear friendships. And there's something beautiful about that. So I know I just got onto that one thing and went into that direction. Yes, you can be friends with a man, of course. My husband is one of my best friends. You know what I mean? I don't think, like, this is just a personal take, that I would have married him if he couldn't have been my best friend. In that sense, what kuch hota hai said was correct. Pyaar dosti hai. Like, you can have lust with someone, and just have fun. But if you truly love someone, it's almost impossible for friendship to, like, not be part of it. You know what I mean? That's just it. And it's one of those safe places kind of love. It's not that urgent kind of love where you're like, oh my god, time nikal jayega, I'll run out of time to hang out with him or be with him. Or it's just one of those kind of stable, safe loves that makes you realize that they're the one. I also just think that people that say you're overqualified for arranged marriage need to be slapped. Yeah, I said what I said. This has happened to somebody I know quite well, and I think that it's ridiculous, because in the arranged marriage circles, right? And like my friends who've had arranged marriages have always known they were going to have arranged marriages. Like they came from families where सबकी arranged marriage ही होती थी. तो उनके crushes होते थे, लेकिन वो कभी किसी को date नहीं करते थे, because they were like शादी तो arrange ही होनी है, मैं अपना दिल क्यों तोड़वाऊँ? So it was those kind of situations. And also because then you want your bio data to look fantastic. Okay, so in side note, in my opinion, not that anyone cares, the arranged marriage circle is too much like a buffet to me, okay? And people think that the dating world is shallow. I'm sorry, but the Indian arranged marriage world is so shallow. I know someone who met their husband through an arranged marriage, but the families were against-ish the marriage. They met, they kind of liked each other, the families didn't click. Some year, 2 years later, they kept meeting other people, and the families didn't know that these two were still talking. Eventually, they married each other. And I'm not joking when I tell you this. There are 3 couples that have had this exact story. So, arranged marriages का algorithm मुझे समझ में नहीं आता है. I will be very honest. I find them very, very shallow. Because it's like you're padding up your kids' biodata all their lives. ये जीतो, वो करो, ये पढ़ो. Because you want the Shadi ka biodata to be amazing. And then what are you telling your child to do? You're telling your daughter to be a housewife. Does she get a say in it? If she wants to be a housewife, more power to her. Making your home, being a homemaker is not an easy task. So I'm not underestimating its worth in society. No, I'm not. But give her a choice. And then you've made her so educated that she's overqualified. Let her just go find her own partner. And also, I mean, the fact that you get biodatas with like salaries and annual incomes written on it, it's beyond. Maybe we should have a separate episode on this if you guys are interested, because my friends have had some crazy arranged marriage experiences. Those who have had arranged marriages also, those who have escaped arranged marriages also, and those who've eventually had love marriages through arranged marriages also, whatever you want to call it as. Telling people to have children through whatever reason is just one of the most diabolical things, in my opinion. Are you pregnant? When are you planning to have a baby? Tired of this? We don't just get married for this. I should get pregnant specifically when it comes from family members. Being called selfish for not having a child. Visit a doctor for a baby. बच्चा पैदा करो वरना बुढ़ापे में अकेले मर जाओगे and people will call you infertile. When I'm having kids, are you pregnant and when are you having a baby? So many, clock is ticking, so many variants of this. And this is the perfect cue actually for me to tell you why I posted this story about tell me what you're fed up of hearing. And I want to give you this example because I think it's sad that it is being told to women today, and even though the strata of society I may be talking about you may not relate with, but I think it's happening across all stratas of society and in society world over for that matter. I was between house helps, right, for a couple of weeks in the middle, and one of my very old staff from my mom's house, she used to work at my mom's house before I got married. She came and helped me out for about 2 weeks, and she's a very sweet 24-year-old girl, and she's been married for 3 years now, and she happened to ask me, how I'm doing. For those of you who may not be aware, I had a miscarriage earlier in 2023, and we were having this conversation, and she happens to tell me that her neighbors and her in-laws call her Banj. Banj in English translates to infertile. She said that. I was in shock. She said because she hasn't been able to get pregnant in 3 years, they give her tanas about her being a banj. And I sobbed myself to sleep that night, because that must be her worst fear, to think that she is possibly infertile, right? Like that's, and I asked her, I said, what's the problem? Talk to me. Like, they've gone to the doctor and, they're both okay. It just hasn't happened. And those things happen to the healthiest of couples. There's nothing this or that about it. But it stayed with me that someone could go to the extent of tormenting somebody else verbally by calling them Banj. And I said, what are the things that you guys are tired of hearing? Now, I have many thoughts when it comes to kids, and I want to talk about it because I feel like the more open we are with each other, the healthier it is for all of us in this space. And us women got to stick together. We got to be there for each other. Where do I get started? How do I do this? Okay, I used to be someone that up until the age of about 17ish, 18ish, knew that I wanted to get married at 21. I wanted to be a mom at 24 and la 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 la. Like, I had that very set thinking. Somewhere around 18, 19, I think I got more exposure to the world, and I realized that that can't be my end goal. And I'm still very, very, very pro-adoption. And I think that around that time, I realized that why should I find the need to have my own biological baby? I would like to adopt. I didn't marry at 21. I met Jerry at around 22, 23. We got married when I was around 25. We're 11 years apart, so he was 36. And as you know, 6 years into being married, we got pregnant this year and had a miscarriage. And the pregnancy was a planned pregnancy. A lot of guys asked me that. You guys asked me that online. And I had changed my mind essentially. But for so many years in the middle, I was like, no. Let's just adopt. Let's not have a baby. And I changed my mind of my own free will. And Jerry would be like, babe, it's your body. This is your call. Whichever route you say we should take, I'm on either way. Which was a very big green flag, I have to tell you, because I've had this conversation with people before Jerry, and they were very hell-bent on being the decision makers on this particular topic. And that is a red flag to me, because it is my body. It is. I shouldn't have to seek your permission in my consent to wanting something or not. Right? So yeah, that was a very big green flag to me when Jerry was like, no, this is something that I'm, super easy on. It's your body and it's your call. Having said that, while I decided to change, my mind on things, I think that it's absolutely ridiculous to put pressure on anybody for A, something that may not be their choice. B, asking someone when you're getting pregnant because you don't know what they're going through. It's bizarre, it's impolite, it is rude, it is invasive, and you have no idea how that could possibly impact their state of mind. Whether you will ruin their day, their week, month. It can really push people over the edge, and it's not a nice space it's not the nice side to be on, the receiving end of something like that. I also just want to say that if you are being told that you are selfish for not having a child, then congratulations to you on being selfish, because selfish is really not a bad word. For so long we've been told to put the world before us as women, right? What the fuck is wrong with putting yourself first? I really want to know. I really want to understand. Because even when you're in a bloody aircraft, they tell you to put the oxygen mask on yourself before putting it on somebody else. Is that also selfish? Because you can't pour from an empty damn cup. It is what it is. And so sometimes when I see people saying, no, but everybody... No. Put yourself first. It's okay to put yourself first. I'm not asking you to do it to a level where you become conceited and you become, just obsessed with oneself in an unhealthy way. Come on, let's be rational adults and human beings over here. But if you have to choose between putting your mental health first before somebody else's, please put your mental health first. Can I tell you on that note a little win I had this year? I was supposed to be in a certain situation, and Aanam, up until last year, would have walked into the situation saying, it's okay, they'll be happy that, I'm there. This year, I said no, and I opted out of this situation because I said, I've seen how my mental health spirals when I'm around this group of people. And while I would like to be there, unfortunately, it's not good for me. And believe me, when I said this out loud, Jerry even was so proud of me. Some of my friends were so proud of me. They were like, you know what? More power to you. It was just, even thinking about that was giving me anxiety. And I realized that I did the right thing for me. I wish I could be there for this friend of mine. I really do. But I couldn't. Because I have a long history with that friend group. A very, very long history with that friend group. Goes back almost 2 decades. Not almost 2 decades, maybe a decade and a half. Had I put myself in that situation, I would have pleased a lot of people maybe, but I would have come back feeling like garbage about myself. I would have just come back and been in therapy for 3 days straight. And my mini win of sorts has been that I didn't put myself in that situation. I was selfish. And I did feel guilty about it then. And I've worked my way through things. This has been a few months now. And about 3 months now, and I'm not guilty about it anymore. I put myself first. I'm happier. I'm at more peace with myself, and that really matters a lot to me. It really, really, truly matters a lot to me. And so if someone's calling you selfish for not having a child, or for not marrying at an age because they want to see you married at an age, or if you chose to stay in on a night out and they really please don't feel guilty. We feel really, really guilty about way too many things as women. We shouldn't, because the narrative is yours to make. It's your life. Use your words. Please use your words. One of the things that I do think, because of conditioning, again, हम सबको खुश करने की कोशिश इतनी करते हैं कि हम लोगों को बोलते नहीं हैं कि exactly हमारे दिमाग में चल क्या रहा है. Again, because you'll hurt someone. Just say it. Being transparent about your thoughts and feelings may upset someone, but it will do everyone more good than bad, because then you're all on the same page. It's like the thing, what was that movie, or where was it from? If a guy isn't into you, he should just say it, right? It makes it easier for everyone, for both of you involved. So just say it, and maybe say it nicely. I'm not asking you to offend anyone, but just say it and get it done with. It's the better thing to do for everyone's sake. So yeah, moral of the story on this slide is, if you're selfish, congratulations. Up to a limit. I don't want to keep repeating my caveats, guys. Come on, this is a given. Weight. Oh my god. Losing and gaining weight. Oh, you're so fit. Wow. Wait until you have a baby. धमका रहे हो, पहले बोल रहे हो बेबी करना है, फिर बोल रहे हो बेबी के टाइम पे वेट गेन होगा, फिर डरा भी रहे हो उसी क्या कर रही है सोसाइटी हमारे दिमागों के साथ. Need to lose weight to find a partner. Oh my god, why have you put on so much weight, or why have you become so thin? Lose some weight, no one will marry you. You've put on weight kya? Constant attention to the body, like if you lose or if you gain, they always have comments to pass. I agree. It's bullshit. I also think, just in general, saying to someone, you look so great, have you lost weight? It's a backhanded compliment, bro. Just say you look great and shut up. Don't say the rest of the sentence. It's not gonna, like, रात को तुम्हें nightmares नहीं आएंगे अगर तुमने बाकी का sentence अपने दिमाग में संभाल के रखा है तो. Just say you look great, period. जिसको समझना होगा समझ जाएगा if they want to take that as a compliment. I have gotten told in the last 2 to 3 months so many times, you've lost so much weight. Oh, you're looking like you really look fit. You look great. I have lost weight. I want to just firstly say something. I have lost weight. I'm not doing anything differently. My hormones have just finally, I think, come to a little normalcy between getting pregnant, having a miscarriage, binge eating, being, when I'm upset, eating is the first thing I do. And I go straight for the Nutella jar. So it is what it is, right? In my case. Do I feel guilty about it? Definitely not. Does the internet constantly remind me of my weight movements? Yeah, it does. But I have thick skin, and frankly, I couldn't give less of a fuck. I really, like, it's so low, it can't go any lower, my level of giving a shit on these things. But where I'm coming from on this is that just don't comment on people's bodies. Say you look nice and leave it there. And if you feel like suddenly someone's gained a lot of weight and you're like, what's happening? Say, hey, how are you doing? Period. Shut up. Don't get to the point of commenting on the body. There is no need to comment on it. Also, if you're with someone who's really close to you and you genuinely are concerned, there are polite ways of saying that without making it sound like you are commenting on body. Make it about asking about health na, if you care so much that you need to ask. I feel like these kind of things really, it's just sensitivity training that we all need to do to ourselves. And I also want to tell you, I don't know how many of you guys have been listening to my podcast or have listened to season 1. We had 29 to 30 episodes of The Real Deal with Aanam C, and some of them made it to YouTube, but all of them are on all the audio platforms. And I had Tanvi in one of my episodes, who is a plus-sized content creator, and I remember sobbing in that episode and admitting to her that when I was in my teens, I used to really trouble my best friend at the time to lose weight. I didn't know better. You know what I mean? I'm talking about 2008, 9. But today we all know better. I don't think I'm embarrassed of that, Aanam. You know what I mean? Because her mom used to tell her, all the friends used to tell her, I used to tell her. And I realized that I can't even imagine what that must have done to her mental health. You know what I mean? When I went through and I've been a skinny girl all my life. I came to little decent weight gain. For context, I used to be like 39 kilos all my life. The first time I crossed the 40 mark was at age 23, 24. Between getting engaged and getting married is when I gained 12 kgs, and for the first time in my life I think I had gone into 50s. I'm currently I think around 53, 54 kgs. I haven't checked in a while, to be honest. And I gained 18 kilos in the lockdown, and I would get comments every day about, am I pregnant because I've gained so much weight? So it made me feel like shit about having gained weight, because all my life my mum would be like, khati nahi, unhealthy rahegi. I hope you gain weight. And then suddenly when I gained the weight, everyone, including some members of my family, I have to say, because I'm being honest about this, it is what it is, were like, oh my god, we wanted you to gain weight, but this is too much. It just really screwed with my head on so many levels. I started wearing, I love kaftans, but I think I ran towards kaftans because I was like, this is the only thing making me feel safe about my body. I don't think it's okay to comment on people's weight. If you're concerned for their health, there are other ways of asking and checking on them and being polite about it and being private about it, not like on a group scale. I also want to say that when you're looking to have uncomfortable conversations with your girlfriends, please don't do it on text, with any friends for that matter, but since we're all about the sisterhood today, just don't do it on text. You don't know what tone the other person is reading it in. And everybody thinks that they know their close friends really well, so they meant it a certain way, and they probably did or they probably didn't. We're not teenagers anymore. Those long text messages and uncomfortable conversations should be saved for having them in person. The reason I say that again is because I feel like I've lost a couple of close friends purely to misunderstandings of text message tones. You know what I mean? And that sucks. So I've tried to be the one who reaches out and says, can we actually meet and talk, a couple of times to a couple of different people. And in some cases that has really helped salvage situations. And in some cases it hasn't. And you know what? It's okay. I tried. It's not my loss. I'm one of those people who believes that once I've tried and then when I back out, not my loss, because I tried and I put my heart into it. So if you're looking at having any of these weird, uncomfortable, awkward, anything apart from normal conversations with your loved ones, try and do them on a phone call or a FaceTime if you live in different cities or countries or whatever time zones. Just don't leave these things to text messages. It's not fun for either end. It leaves you with anxiety. The minute you see the phone light blaring up, you're like, now what? You know what I mean? If it's not making you anxious, it's probably making you upset. It's probably making you angry. And I think we all tend to forget that at the core of it all, we all love each other, right? Like, we love our friends. We want the best for our friends. I don't think there's anybody who will voluntarily want their friend to fail at anything: work, job, relationship, anything, promotion, anything. I think that if our communication strategies were better, we would all be much happier in life. 2 cents on it. I have screenshots of about 5 more pages, but I just realized that I've been talking non-stop for about 30 something minutes, and I should probably end this video here. My purpose of this video, really honestly, is to have and open up so many more conversations like this. In 2024, I feel like you and I should get closer on things that mean more to us in the real world. Of course, I'm going to keep continuing the beauty content and the fun games and challenges and all the light stuff too, but I really do want to get deeper as well, because I feel like these heavy conversations aren't had enough on the internet. And I feel like when it comes to just a huge sisterhood, there's a lot of potential for us over here to speak candidly with one another about the things that are good, bad, ugly, and weird. Honestly, just genuinely feel like there's so much scope for us to make our own lives better through open communication and by sharing things and talking about things that we don't talk about often. And I don't know why we don't talk about often, because the bullshit we talk about all the time. So you're going to see this side of me a lot more. I'm really sorry for the low volume of Self-Care Sunday videos that have gone up in 2023. I feel like 2023 for me was just one big reality check and Self-Care Sunday episode in itself as a year, if I'm being honest. I'm really looking forward to watch this year end. Yeah, I am. I said what I said. I'm going to see you guys very soon. I'm going to see you guys in the next video. But I really, truly would appreciate if you can take out a couple of minutes, leave comments down below, tell me your thoughts on this video, and tell me your thoughts on the kind of conversations you want to have. Because if I'm having these conversations with you, I may as well be asking you rather than just putting out things that I think we should talk about. Alright, with that, I'm always reading, liking, hearting, and responding to each and every one of you. I'm holding on to those screenshots, so I'm really looking forward to your thoughts. I love you very much. This video I'm doing, I swear, is because I love you, and because somewhere in my heart, I think I've finally come to believe that you love me, and that's why you have given me this safe space to have these conversations on the internet. I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye, guys. Happy holidays.